God is stirring something in your spirit right now because the season you are stepping into requires clarity, truth, and discernment. You have been carrying questions, sensing things you could not explain, feeling shifts you could not put into words, and noticing signs that you tried to ignore because you wanted to believe the best. But God is whispering to you today that the truth about His heart is coming. Not your version of the truth, not the version someone tried to convince you of, not the version you hoped was real, but the actual, raw, unfiltered truth that God Himself has seen. God is about to expose everything, not to break you, but to free you. Not to punish you, but to protect you. Not to destroy something, but to realign your life with what is truly meant for you. You have been carrying the weight of confusion because the actions and the words never matched. One moment He acted one way, the next moment He shifted into something entirely different. You felt warmth, then distance. Affection, then silence. Promises, then excuses. You tried to rationalize the inconsistencies because your heart is naturally forgiving, patient, and loyal. But God is showing you that loyalty should never require you to betray yourself. Truth should never feel like guessing. Love should never feel like a puzzle that only hurts you more the longer you try to solve it. There were moments when you told yourself, "Maybe I'm imagining it. Maybe I'm overthinking. Maybe he is struggling. Maybe he cares but doesn't know how to show it." You gave grace because you have a heart that gives generously. But God saw the conversations behind your back. God heard the thoughts He never voiced. God witnessed the intentions He tried to hide. God watched the way He handled your heart, your time, your trust. And when God says the truth is coming, it means what has been in the dark is about to be pulled into the light. This exposure is not punishment for him, it is protection for you. You have been walking in circles emotionally because someone else refused to stand in truth. And God is done watching you drain yourself for someone who does not even know what to do with a heart as rare as yours. God is not trying to embarrass anyone, He is trying to save you from walking deeper into a story that was never written for your future. Sometimes God closes a door with force because you keep trying to open it gently. Sometimes God reveals the truth about someone's heart because He needs you to stop fighting for a place where your soul is slowly dying. Your spirit has been uneasy for a reason. Every time something didn't add up, every time you sensed emotional distance, every time He said one thing but acted another, every time you felt unexplained heaviness after talking to Him, it was not paranoia, it was discernment. God has been trying to get your attention. You felt the shift long before you understood it. God has been showing you glimpses, small pieces of truth, little cracks in the mask, subtle signs in the tone, the timing, the behavior. And now, the season of small signs is ending. The season of full revelation is beginning. When God exposes the heart of someone connected to your life, it's not to shame them, it's to realign you. You prayed for clarity, and clarity is coming. You prayed for peace, and peace is coming, but first, the truth has to arrive. You prayed for direction, and direction is coming, but first, the cloudiness must be removed. You prayed for real love, healthy love, honest love, and God cannot give you that while you are still tied to someone whose intentions are inconsistent. God is about to reveal conversations you were never supposed to hear but will somehow reach you. He is about to send signs you can no longer ignore. He is about to expose the motives behind actions that confused you. Sometimes God reveals the truth not through words, but through patterns. He will show you what someone really values, not through what they promise, but through what they prioritize. He will show you what someone truly feels, not through what they say when they want something, but through how they behave when you need something. The truth about his heart is not meant to hurt you, it is meant to free you from illusions. There are people who like the idea of you but cannot handle the responsibility of you. There are people who enjoy your presence but cannot honor your value. There are people who want the blessing you carry but are not prepared to match the loyalty, faithfulness, and consistency that your heart requires. And God will not let you settle for half love, confused love, or inconsistent love. There is a deeper reason why God is exposing his heart now. Your next season requires emotional clarity. The blessing God is preparing for you requires space, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. You cannot walk into your next chapter carrying the weight of someone who is not aligned with your destiny. God is clearing your path, not to leave you empty but to make room for what is truly yours. You cannot hold on to someone who was only meant to be a lesson. You cannot build a life with someone whose foundation is shaky. You cannot trust a heart that still isn't sure what it wants. The truth God is revealing will feel uncomfortable at first, but eventually it will feel like deliverance. You will look back and thank God that He exposed what you couldn't see. You will realize how much unnecessary emotional weight you were carrying. You will see how God saved you from heartbreak deeper than anything you've endured before. You will understand that God's protection often looks like loss before it looks like blessing. God is preparing you for alignment, truth, and peace. The exposure is not the end, it is the beginning. God is not just removing someone, He is repositioning you for what your soul has been craving. This revelation is a doorway. The truth is coming because God is ready for you to step into your next level without illusions, without confusion, without emotional manipulation, without half efforts, and without hidden intentions pulling you backward. The moment God begins exposing someone's true intentions, it is not because He wants you to suffer, it is because He wants you to finally see clearly. You have been trying to understand His behavior through the softness of your heart, but God is showing you the truth through the sharpness of His wisdom. You look at people through compassion, God looks at them through revelation. You try to understand motives, God sees them without filter. You hope for change, God sees whether that change is even possible. And when God exposes something, it means the time for hoping, guessing, and waiting is over. There were moments you felt like something was off but couldn't explain it. You felt shifts in energy, shifts in tone, shifts in his availability. You noticed how he was emotionally present when it benefited him but distant when you needed him. You noticed how he could be warm one day and indifferent the next. You noticed how the consistency you gave was never returned in the same measure. You noticed how the effort you poured out was met with silence, excuses, or temporary affection that disappeared as soon as things got uncomfortable. Your spirit picked up on all of this long before your mind acknowledged it. God gave you a sensitive inner radar, a discernment that works even when logic fails. And every time you tried to silence that inner voice, God whispered louder. Every time you tried to trust what He said, God reminded you to pay attention to what He did. Every time you tried to ignore the uneasiness, God allowed another sign to appear. Not because God wanted to overwhelm you, but because He needed you to understand. The truth was always there, you just needed divine confirmation. You are stepping into a season where God is not allowing emotional blindness anymore. You have outgrown confusion. You have outgrown relationships with unclear motives. You have outgrown connections that drain you more than they build you. You have outgrown people who take your loyalty but offer inconsistency in return. You have outgrown pretending not to see red flags because you wanted the relationship to be something it was never destined to become. God is about to give you clarity so undeniable that you will no longer question what needs to be done. This clarity will not come from anger, nor from bitterness, nor from resentment. It will come from truth. It will come from revelation. It will come from divine understanding that goes beyond human emotion. Your heart may have been confused, but your spirit is about to gain direction. God is stepping in because He knows you have carried enough emotional weight. The truth is, God has been protecting you from a level of heartbreak you didn't even know was forming behind the scenes. You were willing to give honesty, depth, loyalty, and transparency, but not everyone is built to handle a heart like yours. Some people love the attention but not the responsibility. Some people like the idea of being loved but are not ready to do the work that real love requires. Some people want connection but avoid commitment. Some people want your presence but not your growth. Some people want you nearby but not too close. They want access to your heart but not the accountability that comes with it. And God is saying, no more. God is not exposing him because he is your enemy, He is exposing him because he is not your destiny. There is a difference between someone who is meant to be in your life permanently and someone who was only meant to be part of your growth. Not every connection is meant to evolve. Not every person is meant to stay. Some people enter your life to teach you what love is not, so you will recognize what love truly is when it arrives. The exposure that is coming will show you the truth about His intentions, His energy, His priorities, and His capacity. And once you see it, you will not be able to unsee it. God will show you why the connection felt heavy. He will show you why the communication was inconsistent. He will show you why the relationship never reached the depth you prayed for. He will show you why you always felt like you were carrying more weight emotionally. He will show you the hidden irritations, the unspoken doubts, the unexpressed fears he had about the connection. And once God reveals it, it will make sense. Things that confused you will finally align. But here is the part you must understand deeply. God is not exposing his heart to punish him, but to elevate you. Exposure is a form of redirection. God is preparing you for a love that is consistent, intentional, spiritually aligned, and emotionally stable. God is preparing you for someone whose words and actions match. Someone who will not treat you like an option. Someone who will not run from emotional responsibility. Someone who will not disappear when things get real. Someone who will value you, protect you, choose you, and honor you. This exposure is the closing of one chapter so a new one can begin. It is the removal of confusion so peace can return. It is the end of emotional guessing so clarity can take its place. It is the end of investing in someone whose intentions were never fully aligned with yours. God is pulling you out of a cycle that was slowly draining your spirit. You have given enough chances. You have poured enough energy. You have waited long enough. As God brings you into this final phase of revelation, He wants you to understand something deeply. What is being exposed is not meant to break your heart, but to rebuild your life. You are not losing anything, you are being released from something that was never fully aligned with your spirit. You are not being abandoned, you are being guided. You are not being rejected, you are being redirected into a higher level of emotional, spiritual, and personal clarity. The truth about His heart is coming because you have reached a point in your journey where half answers, half effort, and half love can no longer exist in your space. You have grown, matured, healed, and transformed too much to remain connected to someone who is still unsure, inconsistent, or half-present. God is not revealing this truth because something is wrong with you, He is revealing it because something is right with you. Your growth requires clarity. Your peace requires truth. Your future requires closure. There is a moment in every spiritual transition where God gently removes the curtain, and you finally see what was hidden. You begin to understand why you felt drained after certain conversations, why your spirit felt tense after certain interactions, why your peace was disturbed when you tried to ignore the signs. You begin to see why He couldn't show up consistently, why He couldn't meet you at the level of emotional maturity you were offering. Why He couldn't match your loyalty, your honesty, your openness. God allowed you to experience this connection not because it was meant to last, but because it was meant to teach you what your heart truly needs. You learned what you cannot ignore anymore. You learned what you refuse to settle for. You learned what real love must look like for you. And now that you have learned the lesson, God is removing the weight. The exposure itself may not come with dramatic events. It may come quietly, in a moment of clarity, in a shift in your own spirit, in a realization that suddenly makes everything click. Or it may come through a conversation, a message, a behavior, a truth revealed through someone else. But however it comes, you will know it is from God because your spirit will recognize it instantly. That moment will not fill you with anger, it will fill you with understanding. Not sadness, clarity. Not heartbreak, release, and after that revelation, something powerful will happen, peace will return to you. Real peace. The kind of peace you haven't felt in a long time. The kind of peace you almost forgot you deserved. When the truth finally comes into the light, confusion leaves. Emotional fog lifts. Your spirit breathes again. You stop overthinking. You stop guessing. You stop trying to make something work that was never designed to carry the weight of your heart. Then, slowly and gently, God will begin to restore you, your confidence, your inner strength, your joy. You will realize how much of yourself you had given away in the attempt to understand someone who was never clear. You will reclaim the parts of yourself that were quietly fading while you waited for consistency. And once those pieces return to you, you will feel more whole, more grounded, and more connected to your purpose than you have in a long time. This exposure is not the end of love for you, it is the clearing of the path for the right love. God never removes without replacing. He never closes without opening. He never reveals without restoring. What you are losing is confusion, what you are gaining is alignment. What you are letting go of is uncertainty, what is coming is stability. What is being removed is emotional inconsistency, what God is preparing is a connection that will speak peace into your life, not confusion. There is someone ahead who will understand you in ways this person never could. Someone who will value you without hesitation. Someone who will choose you without fear. Someone who will protect your heart, not play with it. Someone whose intentions will not need to be guessed, interpreted, or repeatedly forgiven. Someone whose presence will bring clarity, not chaos, and when that person arrives, you will look back and see this moment as the turning point, the moment God stopped the cycle, revealed the truth, and freed you from a connection that was never meant to hold your future. The truth is coming, but so is healing. So is peace. So is restoration. So is alignment. So is the blessing God has been preparing behind the scenes. God is not exposing him to hurt you, he is exposing him to prepare you. And what God has prepared for you will not require confusion, fear, mixed signals, or emotional exhaustion. What God is preparing for you will bring clarity, honor, and peace. You are stepping into a season where the truth will liberate you, guide you, and finally bring you back to yourself.